Hey, oh, I look ratchet. Ugh, my hair though. What is going on my head? I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. Should I just run a brush through it or? Ah, no, I'm already recording. Anyway, sorry. Disregard this like rat's nest going on my head right now. Disregard all of that because today I'm here to share with you guys some of my dream theater roles that I just want to play at some point in my life so bad with some kind of theater. I don't care. It could just be like, my community theater. I don't care. These are characters that I just want to portray in something at some point in my lifetime because it just seems like so much fun. Now, I am putting a bit of a limit on myself for this particular video, and I'm going to say that these are kind of my more realistic dream roles. Because, for example, like, it would just be the ultimate dream come true to, like, say, play Elphaba. But that's a little far-fetched considering my own vocal abilities. So, I'm going to try and keep it to my slightly more realistic dream roles instead of roles like Elphaba and big leads with big singing parts like that. More realistically speaking, these are roles that I would just love to portray. So, coming right at you, just starting the list off right quick. One of my dream roles is to actually play Nessa Rose, Elphaba's little sister from Wicked. And I dream of playing Nessa for several different reasons. One being, I think she's a very deep, intricate, and interesting character, even though she, only has, two big scenes, and other than that, she barely has, any stage time. She's around when they're at Shiz, kind of towards the beginning of the production, and then you, don't even see her again until the second act, and she shows up for, one big climactic scene, and then she leaves again, and then she dies. So, barely any stage time at all, and yet she still gives us this really intricate, interesting character, even with her limited stage time. And so I think that's something really interesting that I would like to do. I find her a very interesting character in the fact that when we first see her, when we're introduced to her, she seems like a very sweet, kind girl who, just wants to be loved and feel loved, and she doesn't want to feel like everyone's looking down on her and everything. And, fate has not really smiled upon her because she's in a wheelchair, but at the same time you kind of find it hard to feel sorry for her because her father spoils her so much, and oftentimes you find yourself feeling more sorry for Elphaba for being the one that's practically abused in the whole father-daughter relationship thing. And so, you kind of want to feel sorry for her, and then at the same time you kind of don't, so it's a kind of contradicting feeling, and then you don't even see her again until Act 2, and then when she reappears in Act 2, she's a completely different person. She's no longer that sweet young girl from Shiz University, she is the Wicked Witch of the East. And I find it very interesting when you put, her plots and her, storyline next to Elphaba's in the same production, because the whole production of Wicked, the whole premise of Wicked, follows Elphaba in her journey in becoming the Wicked Witch of the West, you know what I mean? You see all of the important plot points that lead up to her being wicked. You see this gradual transformation or molting she goes through to become the Wicked Witch of the West. Whereas Nessa, you don't see any of it. You just see where she begins and where she ends up. You don't see the gradual transformation like you do Elphaba. So I think her transformation surprises you more because you don't see the gradual growth of the character. And so putting those two storylines together in the same production makes it even more intricate and interesting because you can compare them and I'm rambling, aren't I? I'm definitely rambling. See, this is what I get for being a creative thinker and looking at this through, a writer's perspective. Anyway, my point is she's a really interesting character. That's reason number one. Reason number two that I dream of playing Nessa is actually because she has such a limited amount of stage time. And so, I still get to present to you this interesting and intricate character, but at the same time, her character is a bit, I don't want to say easy, because that's not the right word. There is no one character that's easier to play than the other, you know what I mean? But what's the word I'm looking for? Simpler, I guess, would be a better word, I suppose. Nessarose seems like a simpler character to portray than Elphaba because of her limited amount of stage time and her limited singing solos, and so, you know, it just seems like a simpler route for me to go, and more realistic. And that leads me to my third and final reason why I would just love to play Nessa, which is, yes, she is one of the main characters of Wicked, but unlike the other main characters of Wicked, she actually seems like a fairly realistic dream, because she only has 2 singing solos, and the character herself has one of those voices where it's important to, you know, of course, have a pretty singing voice, but it doesn't have to be like this perfect angelic melodic voice like Glinda's or this big powerful voice like Elphaba's. You just have to have this nice simple singing voice, and I think I could actually pull that off, unlike, you know, Elphaba or Glinda's. So she's a bit more realistic, but yet at the same time I still get to be a main character in Wicked, so it's kind of the best of both worlds, I suppose. And so that's why I dream of playing Nessa one day. Speaking of Wicked, another dream role of mine from Wicked is to play Madame Morrible. And if you guys watched my Wicked impressions video and you guys saw my Madame Morrible impressions, then you probably already know why I dream of playing Madame Morrible. I had lots of fun imitating her voice. That, like, posh, weird accent that she has. Oh, it's just the funnest thing ever, okay? Basically, the only reason why I want to play Madame Morrible is because she just seems like one of those characters that's so much fun to play. And I kind of get to play up the whole villain thing, you know, if I play Madame Morrible, so that would be fun. I love playing villainous characters because they're so fun to play. And the really neat thing about Madame Morrible is she begins the production as kind of like, kind of more like a good guy, you know, like she's seen as like a guidance for Elphaba, and then she kind of transforms into a villain towards the end, which is really cool. And like I said, her accent is hilarious, and I would just love to play Madame Morrible because it seems like such a fun part. Really, really fun. So yeah. 2 dream roles in Wicked. Like, I could play, like, Nessa when I'm somewhere in, like, my early 20s, and then, like, I'll play Madame Morrible when I'm, like, in my late 30s or early 40s. It would be great. Moving on to other productions. Let's see. Oh, here's a fun one. Here's a really fun one. I dream of playing Miss Wormwood. Wormwood. Such a difficult name to pronounce. I don't know why it's so hard for me to pronounce. Like, it should be easy. Wormwood. But I can't pronounce it together, like, as one word. Wormwood. It's a tongue twister for me. From the musical Matilda. I would love, 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 love to play this character. She seems like so much fun, and I mean, come on. Her solo song, Loud, that is the funnest song, I think, in existence. Maybe besides, like, La Vie Boheme from Rent. That's probably the funnest song ever, but Loud comes in a close second. That song is hilarious, and just her overall character is hilarious, and I would get to bring so much comedy to the stage, and she's such a funny character, and yet, once again, at the same time, she's a villain. A villain. I put that in quotation marks for a reason. A villain in the story of Matilda, so I get to play up really interesting character dialect, I guess, if you will. So yeah, definitely one of my dream roles. Another reason why she's one of my dream roles is because I don't have to have a pretty singing voice to play her. She sings loudly and irritating. I can do that. I can sing irritating. I can accomplish that. So yeah, definitely one of my dream roles, and I think I would just love to be in the production Matilda, period, because it seems like such a fun production. I actually, like, I kind of dream of being one of the maggots, like one of the kids, but I can't, obviously, because I'm not a kid anymore, but that would be really fun to play a kid in Matilda. Like, if I could go back in time to when I was a little kid, I would want to play one of the kids in Matilda. It just seems like so much fun, like rolling around on scooters on stage. But Mrs. Wormwood actually gets to ride a scooter on stage too, so hey, once again, another reason why she's one of my dream roles. So yeah, Mrs. Wormwood from Matilda. Um, another pretty big dream role of mine would be to play Maureen from Rent. If you guys have seen any of my videos, you already know that I love Maureen and that she's like my favorite character from Rent. But obviously, since Rent is done and it's not being continued anymore, I can't be Maureen on stage anywhere, but I would love to nonetheless. She's freaking crazy character and just insane and funny, and I would love it. I think Maureen, may be one of my more far-fetched dream roles in this list, simply because I would need a pretty big singing voice to play her. But I still think it might be doable if I really try my hardest. But, you know, out of all the characters on this list, I would say she's probably the most far-fetched, I would say. But she's just such a funny character and so crazy and off the freaking wall all over the place. She's hilarious. I would also really like to play Joanne, just so I could be like sassy, because Joanne is so sassy and such a smartass. I would love to do that. But she has an even bigger like singing role, I would say, so that's a little bit more far-fetched than Maureen. So I kind of went with Maureen for this list specifically. But I felt like Joanne was worth mentioning. More dream roles. More dream roles. More dream roles. Let's see. Who am I missing on this list? I'm missing the biggest one of all. Duh. Morticia Addams. I would love to play Morticia Addams in anything Addams Family, anything, a reboot of the show, another movie, the stage musical. I don't care, I just want to play her character in something. Give me something, okay? Dream role in anything right there. I mean, for this list, I'm specifically talking about theater dream roles, but I would be happy playing Morticia in anything. I'm going to be doing a character analysis on Morticia soon, so you guys can look forward to that, because she's just such an awesome character. Like, I'm not just talking about she's my favorite Addams Family character, I just mean she's such an interesting character overall, you know? She's just such a great character and such a good, like, womanly role model, because she takes charge in her life and her family, and she's a loving mother, loving, devoted mother and wife, and you know, she puts family pretty high up on the freaking totem pole of life, and she's just a great character. Specifically, I would dream of playing Morticia in the original Chicago version of the play, or stage musical, whatever you want to call it. The original Chicago version was the best out of all of them, hands down. I still don't know why they changed it from that, because it was fantastic. They should have just left it alone. It was perfect the way it was. It didn't need to be changed, but they did. They changed it, so like I said, I would be happy playing Morticia in anything, so if I was given the opportunity to play Morticia in the tour version of the musical, I would still definitely take it. But I'm just saying, I think I would prefer to play Morticia in the original Chicago version of the show, but unfortunately, since that is no longer happening, it's a no-go. No-go, no-show for me. Yeah, but definitely, probably my number one dream role, Morticia. Morticia Addams of the Addams Family. Definitely my dream role. So you guys, I would say that's all the roles that I feel like sharing with you guys today. I have a lot more dream roles, but most of them are the kind of like too far-fetched ones that I didn't want to put in this list, you know, like Elphaba and stuff, because they are just so over the top and unrealistic that I didn't feel any need to list them. Like, you know, for instance, I would love to play Donna in Mamma Mia, but that's unrealistic. I would love to play Ebony in Les Miserables. That would be amazing. Oh, she's like my favorite character ever. When she takes a bullet for him. Okay, I'm not gonna get into it, you guys. I'm not. I'm gonna start crying, and that would just be awful. I'm not gonna do that. Okay? So, you know, I have other dream roles, but for this specific list, I think I am done. That's pretty much it for this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Like I said, it's probably going to be a character analysis on Morticia Addams, perhaps, maybe, depending on what I feel like doing later. Now I'm going to go video chat with Kat, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out, my kitty does, and one shares.